Hey guys, what's up? It's Schla coming back to ya with another episode of Walks with Schla. And today, on this last episode of the day of Walks with Schla, I have a hunch that we're not going to get into anything too crazy, only because I did actually paste the previous transcript in. However, I I pasted the previous transcript in, but I didn't have a chance to actually look it over. So I don't really have much of a follow-up or continuity from the previous episode, so I'm not really sure about like particulars or little things like that. I don't really know. So we're just going to have to start it fresh and wing it. And yeah, I don't really know. there's not really too much else to say about it. I don't know. I was just I didn't get a chance to actually look at it. So today is going by pretty quick. I think I'm feeling relatively okay. And yeah, I don't know. But there's not a whole lot of deep things that I can really think about at the moment. So what I wanted to do was I kind of wanted to go through what this would basically be is a filler episode. So just go through some of the things that I can think of that I've already done before, which that I've already said before that I do. Not that I've done before that I said. Is that I've done before that I do. And I can't really think of any except for one, so I'm just going to say one. But it's how, I have a bunch of phones and none of them are in cases. I think that's like an extremely unusual behavior, but I hate cases. I don't understand why they're popular. I can't put my finger on it. That's for sure. I can't put my finger on why a case is popular. I mean, they feel terrible. They feel like hideous. I mean, you get this like beautiful piece of technology that is incredibly luxurious in the hand. It has an amazing texture. It's a great thing, and then you cover it in some cheap plastic. Now, who in their right mind would do that? I mean, I just can't. And I know I mentioned this before to somebody, and they said, "Oh, well, to keep it nice." To keep it nice. And I said, "Yeah, but what's the point in keeping it nice if you're just going to you're never going to feel it. You're never going to feel the niceness that's under the junky plastic case because you're so focused on keeping it nice. You're never even going to, actually get to feel it." And I guess this can kind of come into some of my earlier philosophical thoughts that I don't think of too often anymore. So I guess I'll just rehash them. This is like way before the show even existed, but there's a couple. There's first of all, I think of like what's the point in doing a lot of these tasks that are like repetitive maintenance? When it comes to mowing a lawn, I don't really get what the point of it is, because you cut a lawn and it grows back, and then next week you have to cut the lawn again, and it's just always the same thing over and over again. And I intuitively always thought like that doesn't make any sense. And I would kind of argue with my dad about it a little bit, but I actually realize now it's so much bigger than that. Like, it's not even, I think in most townships they wouldn't allow it. Like, if you own a property and you don't keep the grass trim, they wouldn't let you do that, basically. But come to find out, I'm actually like, my intuition was dead correct that it's actually not good to. It's just not good. It's not good to cut the lawn. The amount of like extra emissions and everything that comes from it, the bads from mowing lawns significantly outweigh the good. So it's pretty interesting, you know? It's like a very interesting conundrum. And it's funny because I noticed it before I even did any research into like that side of it, all the extra emissions, and even if you have an electric mower, you know, the extra, it's still, you know, using up extra precious electricity, so that's, you know, that's obviously no good. But yeah, I think it's all crazy that I just like intuitively thought that. It was the same thing, like my parents got a couch once and they put a cover over it, and then I said, it's like the same kind of thing as the phone case. It's like, yeah, I understand to an extent you want things to stay nice, but you can't keep things nice forever. I mean, that just doesn't make any sense. And if you buy a sofa with a certain fabric or a certain texture, the whole point is to feel that fabric or texture, not to have that fabric or texture just completely covered, and then you never even appreciate the thing. Like it just doesn't make any sense. I don't know. It just seems like odd. It seems very odd and very strange to me, a lot of these human behaviors. But come to realize, like, a lot of people, when they have a thought or idea about something, they actually don't scrutinize themselves very much at all. Like, people, is it already Tuesday? Wow, yeah, I can't believe it's already Tuesday. I guess today was a pretty chill day, good day. Same with yesterday. It's just been good times all around. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, like, wow. I don't know, because there was a lot of stress. I'm still hemming and hawing over that keyboard. I mean, actually, as far as I know, it could have already been sold. I'm surprised people aren't jumping on it anymore. But, yeah, I'm not certain, because I'm actually kind of feeling the rush of anti-materialism. I'm feeling a rush of it, and I just think that's like really interesting, right? Because, yeah, I'm feeling a rush of anti-materialism. So, you know what? Here's the thing. I don't think it's going to matter whether I get the keyboard or not. But I'm sensing a shift in the air. There is something changing. I can tell that, like, I'm really getting hit with a lot of these immaterialism thoughts and stuff like that. So I don't think it's really going to matter. Like, I think if I buy it or not, that's not really the point. But I can sense, there's an intuitive sense to what's to come of this, you know, anti-materialistic phase that I'm heading into, and I'm feeling fairly excited about that. You know, there's a level of excitement going on that I can really feel very well and very deeply. So I do think that is an interesting observation. And I'm still very squarely in the middle. I think I was leaning more towards just getting it than I was leaning more towards just not getting it. So there's still an indecisiveness about it. I don't know. It's kind of the bottom line. But yeah, I mean, that's that, right? That's all there really is to it. So yeah, there's a lot of these ideas that I always thought of, but I guess that's maybe a difference between me and other people. Is other people, they adopt opinions and perspectives that sound good, but I don't really think it's possible for them to do much self-analysis and really realize, like, oh, well, what idea of mine is a conflicting idea? You know, what ideas do I have that actually conflict with one another? I don't really think people are that good at really categorizing things. It's kind of strange, actually. It's uncanny almost just how much, like, I'm able to do that. And Granted, sometimes I could be off. I don't think I've nailed it, and categorizations can be wrong, but I'm saying for the most part, in terms of like understanding and comprehending and architecting a archetype, for example, I just don't really meet people who are able to do it in the sense that I do it. They either aren't really interested, it's kind of not something they care about very much. But I think adding words and labels to people, descriptions, articulations of people, it's super important. I think it's probably the most important thing. And the truth is, a lot of people, there's not much personality there to describe. But then at the same time, there may be just various beliefs that a person holds that are conflicting. And a person doesn't even necessarily realize or understand what's going on. You know, they just hold a bunch of conflicting views. And there's even been times I've talked to people where I'll explain to them how, you know, if you look at your view here and your view there, they're not compatible. You can't hold both views simultaneously. And then, like, the person still won't even understand what I'm talking about or what I'm saying, and they'll still continue to hold two views or multiple views that actually conflict with each other or are basically hypocritical even in some cases. So I'm assuming there's a different level of comprehension or something, and it's a specific thing that I'm suited for. Because I mean, even I can't think of any examples at the moment, but I've mentioned it before how my intellectual weak points are like, you know, fast responses and stuff like that. If I have to take a test and, like, you know, it's timed and there's like boom, 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 like I can do it to some degree. Like I might be pretty average or probably even above average, but really only slightly. And it's very exhausting for me. It really burns through a lot of brain power. And so I'm just saying that to say that everybody has their intellectual weak points and strong points. And I don't even know that a lot of people can realize that or categorize it. You know, many people just view a label as smart or dumb, but there's really so many different ways that can be manifest. But yeah, I would say like rapid decision making, it's not my forte by any means. And yeah, I don't know, I think that's like a big part of just who I am, I guess. Like it's kind of always been that way, but if anything, the older I've gotten even less good at fast decision making, and even better at these kind of long, abstract, zoomed out theory and thought about things, you know? And it's technically a good thing. It's technically, I would say, the best or the highest form of intellect. But the problem and the caveat that comes with that is it's also the least useful and it's the hardest to wield. Like, so, you know, the rapid intellect, it's very useful. It's very useful, you know, materially. It comes up. And a lot of people, like, it's really impressive. It's really showy if you're rapid, if you're fast. But it's technically not as important because, you know, at the end of the day, when it comes to humanity, like evolving or moving to our next stage or like really solving a lot of moral or ethical conundrums and problems, it's not the rapid thinkers who are able to do that. Like, they just can't do it. So it's just like a whole problem. I don't really know how else to explain it or describe it or anything like that. It's really just a tricky situation. That's the bottom line. It's just a very tricky situation and scenario, and I completely lost my train of thought. So I don't really know what I'm going to say now. Sorry, because this guy I was just watching him drive, and then, yeah, I just don't know what to do. I don't know what to do now. Anyways, yeah, I don't know where we were. I don't know what we were talking about, so I guess it is what it is, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what yeah, isn't that funny? I mean, it shouldn't be funny. It's really not funny at all. It's quite frustrating. It's actually infuriating. No, I'm kind of playing around a bit. It's not really that infuriating, It's relatively fine. So, but yeah, I think that is the angle I'm playing. That's the angle I'm playing. Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I mean, I was actually surprised at how coherent this conversation went. Like, I did find something to talk about despite being aggressively overstimulated at this point. I mean, I think that's pretty interesting or pretty fascinating, but, I don't really know. It's all a shocker. It's all crazy, but I'm happy to be here, I guess. I'm happy to still be here, be around, and yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It's all okay though, I don't really have a lot of issues or problems with where I'm at or things like that. It's just not. I don't know. I'm just saying a bunch of gibberish right now because I'm on autopilot. Maybe there's something to that. Maybe there's sort of like I was like subliminally thinking in a certain way that was actually better or more beneficial. And then the second I started to be aware of the slipping time or the slipping mind, I started to second guess myself a little bit more. And then that sort of creates now, at this point, all these minutes later, now I've basically manifested a lack of things to say. Although I guess you could also say that I haven't actually lost a thing to say because I'm talking about how I don't have anything to say. And if I actually didn't have anything to say, then I probably wouldn't be talking right now about having things that I didn't know what I was going to say. So you could really say that that's what you could say. I mean, there's really not there's not much to it. But yeah, no, I'm grateful that again yesterday and today they're going by relatively well, and then there's just one more day and then all will be well. It's a good feeling. I think it's a good thing. I think it's good timing. It's all good. It's just all a bunch of good. We're all good right now. That's where we're at. All good. All great. And so, yeah. Is there too much else to say? I don't really know. Man. But, yeah, I'm just doing the same thing again. We're just trying to ride the clock right now, honestly. There's got to be something, though. I mean, I was thinking about my past and kind of some of my previous ideas, which it's a shame a lot of them don't get recorded, but at the same time, I guess something I'm more and more sort of weary of is, again, recording and posting content. I mean, it's not reaching a lot of people right now, but I guess there is a worry to, I don't know. There's a worry to me, what if I plant a seed in somebody and it ends up becoming, not a good idea? I don't really know how I feel about that, because I could be saying stuff now, and I'm very intentional that this is, rough draft material. Don't take what I'm saying and run with it necessarily, but somebody could, it just could happen. I mean, I could say something and some random person could just watch this video with no views, and it could, move them in such a way that they end up doing something evil with something I said made them think of something. Like, you really got to be careful. And I guess it's just something I've thought about there is kind of a responsibility to having a voice, and I just don't know how I really feel about that. Like, I try to be a little bit wary of things, but honestly, this show is just kind of a spitfire, That's just how I roll, like, in general. A lot of my thoughts and stuff, they're just automatic. It's not very scripted. Some things might be scripted, but it's, I don't really know. I just don't really know how else to, like, some things are scripted, but other things really are not, and they just come off the cuff. And whether they're correct or incorrect or anything like that, I honestly have no idea. So what, I don't, I'm really exhausting my ability to, like, keep something running. I'm just ready to wrap this thing up. I mean, it's just, I'm surprised. At the very least, like, there was a good chunk of content in here that was, like, actual content. It was not filler. I started by, proclaiming this was just going to be like a measly filler episode. So you really least got to pat me on the back a little bit for, I think most of the episode did end up being genuine content, as far as I think, but it's really just, like, barely over half. I wouldn't say it was actually, like, a true majority, but I mean, technically that is a true majority. You can't say that's not a true majority. That's all I'm saying. If it's technically over half, even if it's a hair over half, that's real content, right? That's a real majority. Anyways, it's been Schla, but now it's time to buy Schla. So, see ya, Schla.